On a cold fall evening in a mansion in upstate New York, there was a lavish 50th birthday party happening for the esteemed Mr. Black. The murder happened at 7:08 p.m. in the hallway in front of the bedroom quarters. The victim was stabbed in the back 3 times. Everyone at the party was accounted for at the time of the murder except for 6 guests: Mrs. White, Colonel Mustard, Miss Scarlet, Reverend Green, Professor Plum, and Mrs. Peacock. There is a potential murderer walking among us, and we must catch them before they attack again. This case has been deemed unsolvable, so the Bureau has hired me, Detective Fallon, one of the top investigators in the nation. I'll be leading the case to find justice for Mr. Black. However, I need your help to determine the murderer of Mr. Black. I met with each suspect and questioned them. This will give you a bit more insight on each suspect. Were you and Mr. Black on good terms before tonight?
For my bestie Miss White's sake, yes. Although I have told her to dump him a couple of times. Jokingly, of course.
Why, yes, I do believe so. He's one of my closest friends.
Yeah, I mean, we always had a special bond.
What a stupid question. He was my husband. Obviously, I loved him.
I believe so. We haven't really spoken in years, but I took his invitation as a way of reaching out.
Of course, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't.
What was your reason for coming to the party?
Open bar? Kidding. I wanted to support my bestie, of course, and I heard my ex was going to be there. You may know them as Professor Plum. And I wanted to show them what they're missing. You know, that type of thing.
I was hoping to catch up a bit. It had been a while since we last talked.
To see Mr. Black, of course. I wouldn't miss that for the world.
Just to catch up with an old friend.
Why else would you come to a party? I'm here to have a good time.
Where were you at the time of the murder?
Smoking in the bathroom. Because it was empty and my ex was hogging the balcony.
I was walking down the hallway, right by the family room.
That's fairly close. What exactly were you doing?
I was on my way to the men's room when I ran into Miss White. As she was coming out of the ladies' room, I politely said hello, and I go to the urinal. As I'm walking up, I hear the most gut-wrenching, blood-curdling scream I'd ever heard. And when I walk out, Miss White is hunched over the body, sobbing. Oh man, it truly broke my heart.
I was in the concert hall with Reverend Green. I loved Mr. Black. I would never do such a thing.
What exactly were you doing?
Okay, I understand from Reverend Green's perspective, I could look a little bit suspicious, but I mean, I was only mad because I saw Mr. Black and Mrs. White go into the hallway, and when that locked eyes with me, they started kissing.
I was in the study taking a moment for myself.
I was on the balcony having a smoke to myself.
What time was that exactly?
At 7:08 p.m.
You know, that's mighty suspicious you say that, because I ran into a very upset Miss Peacock, and around that time she was in the concert hall. She wasn't making much sense, but she kept saying Mr. Black this, Mr. Black that, so I'm not too sure. I tried calming her down and she just stormed out.
What was your relationship to Mr. Black?
Before I knew him as my best friend's husband, he was my ex's best friend. They were practically joined at the hip until their little breakup, which ultimately led to my breakup. Not something I like to talk about.
To others, we may have just seemed like friends or acquaintances, but between us, it was so much more.
Old friends, really. Nothing much more.
We were very close. I did the vows at his weddings. I baptized his children. Excuse me, I mean, he'd been going to my church for about 30 years now.
Was there any reason someone would want Mr. Black dead?
The feud between Plum and Mr. Black was pretty intense. I was just really surprised she even showed up. That's all I'll say.
I can't imagine any reason why. I mean, he was so beloved to all of us, but I know Colonel Mustard has always had eyes for Mrs. White, and if he saw that kiss like I did, I think he may have lost it.
Well, Mrs. Peacock, she always wanted him, and she was always jealous of me. But I never thought she would take it that far.
Possibly. His charisma may come off brazen to some.
I couldn't tell you. Maybe Miss Peacock? Doesn't make any sense.
Did you see anything at the scene of the murder?
No, I was too busy trying to clean the ashes off the sink before anyone could walk in and see me.
No, just Colonel Mustard taking advantage of the moment, and probably Mrs. White. She enjoyed every second of it. She always loves attention.
He was face down with a knife in his back. The only thing I want is justice for my husband.
No, when I came back from my smoke, the area had already been blocked off.
I saw many things. I saw Colonel Mustard comforting Miss White, and to be honest, he didn't look at Mr. Black not once. He didn't look happy. Like there was a certain excitement in his eyes in the air, and it was kind of like it was something he was waiting for.
Now it is time I turn to you all. Who do you think murdered Mr. Black?